How many times have you started a bulk and gained too much weight? Or started a bulk and ended it early because you're afraid of that happening? If you're watching this video, the answer is likely more than once. We know that if we want to change our bodies, we have to build the muscle to do it, but the thought of gaining weight can be scary. At Beyond Built, we teach our clients how to gain muscle effectively without gaining too much fat, so that they can feel confident in their physiques year-round and spend more time improving their physiques versus dieting multiple times a year. If you follow the 3 steps in this video, especially number 3, you'll have the keys to start building muscle without having to be afraid of gaining a ton of fat. Number 1 is you want to create a modest surplus of around 200 to 400 calories. Sometimes when people set this new goal of putting on muscle and going into a bulk, it turns into a fuck yeah, I can eat whatever I want, which then turns into a game of how much food can I shove in my face. This happened to me when I bulked back in 2019. We completely overshot my calories and I ended up gaining more fat than I ever had before. This led to me having such a hard time dieting in the future, and I never actually got as lean as I wanted to until I literally prepped in 2023 for my bodybuilding show. In order to avoid this from happening, that's why we go with a more moderate surplus of 200 to 400 calories. How you're going to do this for yourself is you're going to start with your maintenance calories and then add that 200 to 400. If you don't know how to find your maintenance calories, check out this video that I made a couple of weeks ago so you know where to start. Now that you have your calorie goal, you want to make sure that you're eating enough protein. Eating enough protein is so important to support your muscle building goals. For leaner individuals, I recommend around 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. For individuals that are higher body fat, I recommend 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. Remember that you want to choose foods that are going to make you feel good and perform well. Sometimes people think of bulking as an excuse to go out and get the burger and the pizza and the ice cream, and you do this so often that you end up feeling like ass because of it. Just like you enjoy foods in moderation when you're dieting, use that same principle here too. Still enjoy your favorite foods because that is the key to sustainability, but make sure that you're focusing primarily on whole, nutrient-dense foods. Number 2 is you want to make training your top priority. If you don't tell the body what to do with the extra calories that you're giving it, it's just gonna store it as fat. We have to give our bodies enough of a stimulus that tells it, hey, we're working really hard in the gym right now, so we should use this extra food to first rebuild and repair the muscles, and then build more of these things so that we can keep up with this demand that we're getting. That's not gonna happen if you're stopping the set right when it gets hard, or if you're using crappy technique, or if you're inconsistent with your training program. Make your training a non-negotiable and an appointment that you don't skip with yourself. Being consistent for long periods of time is key to see the results that you're after. Next, you want to prioritize your nutrition around your workout to ensure that you're making the most out of every session. Having a solid meal with a 2 or 3 to 1 ratio of carbs and protein in your pre and post workout meal is going to help your performance and your recovery tremendously. Training in and of itself is a stimulus to build muscle. Eating protein in and of itself is a stimulus to build muscle. When you combine both of these things with carbs in that meal too, you are putting yourself in such a great position to put on more tissue. If you can't get in a full meal before your training session due to working out first thing in the morning, you can have a carb-heavy meal before bed so that you wake up with full glycogen stores in the morning to fuel your workout, and either have a pre-workout snack or an intra-workout drink with carbs and protein in it, and then have a solid post-workout meal. In your training sessions, make sure that you focus on high-quality movement. Just going through the motions with your training doesn't mean that you're just going to magically build the tissue. Get a good mind-muscle connection. Go through a full range of motion, and film your lifts so that you can watch them back and improve on them set after set and session after session. Lastly, you want to train within a close proximity to failure. Towards the end of the set, when it starts to get hard and we start to feel the burn, these are what we call stimulative reps. A lot of people stop the set right when they get here, but this is when it just started to get juicy and where the real progress is made. These are the reps that are going to give your body that stimulus of, yo, it's time to grow, we have to adapt. Take all of your sets to at least a 3 to 4 RIR or a 7 RPE, and don't stop until you get there. Once you start paying attention, you'll probably surprise yourself with how strong you actually are. Number 3 is you want to do this for a minimum of 8 months. This is where most people fall short and why they never actually reach their goals. The largest advantage of using a modest surplus is so that you can be in it comfortably and confidently for longer. Building muscle takes time, and if you're going back and forth between bulking and dieting every 2 to 3 months, you're never actually giving yourself a chance to make some real changes. Before you start your bulk, create a timeline and stick to it. There are going to be days where you feel bloated or you miss the extra lines, but if you cave, you're only shooting yourself and your progress in the foot. Having a specific timeline in mind helps you stay sane even when the process gets a little mundane. As you're going through your bulk, make sure that you're tracking your progress through progress photos and your weight. A good goal to have is to gain around 1% of body weight per month. Make sure that you track your weight every single day so that you can get a 2-week average and see if you're on target. If you're not, just adjust your surplus up or down accordingly. Make sure that you also take weekly progress photos of yourself to go along with the scale data. This is another great metric to use to watch your body change shape, because we know that the scale doesn't always tell the whole story. Using your physique to guide you along with the data is very beneficial. If you have any questions on what I covered today, make sure to comment them below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another video.